Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good to see everybody again. We're going to give folks probably about our usual 30 seconds here to make their way into the room. Great to see a lot of familiar faces, though, or at least names from this end. Thank you for everybody for continuing to hang on with us through what's been about 12 days of programming. So glad to see you made it through with us to the end here. Uh, as always, we're looking forward to meeting a good chunk of you on Friday for coming to campus, but good to see everybody virtually today. I think folks probably another 15 seconds or so to try and get some more people in the room before we go ahead and get started. All right, excellent. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. I know folks kind of make their way into the room as time allows. As always, for those of you on the East Coast here and towards the middle of the country, thank you for joining us on your lunch break or whatever break you have between classes to learn a little bit more. For those of you on the West Coast, thank you so much for joining us first thing in the morning to come and learn a little bit more about Emory. Like I said, we're excited to have everybody here. We're at the very end. We've made it through the virtual portion of this. Like I mentioned, we're super excited to see all of you that are able to make it to campus on Friday and learn a little bit more, see the campus, meet our faculty, meet our staff, meet our leadership, and really get the full in-person Emory experience both here on campus and in Atlanta. So we're super excited. We've got a great session for you today. For those of you that have been with us, you know who I am. My name's Anthony. I'm the director of admission here. I'm really excited to see everybody. We've got a great session lined up with our dean to talk a little bit more about the school and answer any final questions you all may have regarding that and our series and moving forward. I'm also joined today by two of my colleagues, Jacob and Natalie, who you've also seen hosting some of these events throughout the week. So wanted to bring them along. They'll be here with us as well to help answer questions and just be with you all for today as we wrap up. You'll see them both on Friday as well. You'll see Dean Bobinski on Friday as well, and you'll get a chance to see everybody in person as well. So we're super excited. You've obviously done a tremendous amount of work to get to this point now, and we're just really excited for what all that holds for you here at Emory. So without further ado, we'll get started with our programming. As I mentioned, we're extremely lucky today to be joined by Dean Bobinski. She is the dean of the law school here at Emory. We're super excited to have her. Her background is in health law. She received her JD from SUNY Buffalo in upstate New York, her PhD as well from SUNY Buffalo, as well as her bachelor's. So a triple Buffalo. What is the mascot for SUNY Buffaloes?
The Bulls.
The Bulls. Okay, so triple bull. Excellent. She joined the law school. It was about 3.5 years ago now. Joining us and coming through.
Two and a half, but I think what
2.5.
it's telling you is it seems like a long time.
And so we're really excited to have her. We just recently launched a new strategic plan for the law school that everybody's super excited about, and under her guidance and leadership, I think we've got a lot of great things in store for you all during your 3 years here and moving forward with the school as well. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Dean Bobinski for some welcoming remarks. We're going to get into questions as well. So if you have questions, please feel free to use the chat box, use the question and answer function, and we'll be able to have you ask your questions. I've got two prepared questions we'll launch into just to get things started. But with that, I'll hand it over to Dean Bobinski for a welcome and to talk with you all a little bit about the school.
Well, thanks, Anthony, and appreciate the intro. I was grateful I could actually remember what the mascot was for SUNY Buffalo. It was not a school that focused a lot on sports while I was there, so in any event, I was glad about that. I did receive a couple degrees from SUNY Buffalo and went and got my LLM at another school and was in the Northeast for a while, and I've had the chance to live and work in different areas of the country and outside the country as well. And really was excited to join Emory Law 2.5 years ago and become a part of this special community. And I know how important it is for each of you in making a decision about where you want to spend the next few years of your lives, where you feel comfortable could be the foundation for your ambitions and your future success. And I know that process of making that decision, and I'm really very excited to be a part of the programming that you're participating in. That gives you insights into the law school and helps you think about whether or not Emory is the right fit for you, as it certainly was for me. As I said, I'm honored and excited to be here. I'm talking about you and making the decisions you're making. I should mention that I really enjoyed having the opportunity to meet with accepted applicants last week in DC and in New York. And I know how important it is to get as much information as you can in whatever setting you can. It's not always possible for people to travel here to Atlanta. And I really commend you for the fact that you've chosen to participate in several of the programs, or perhaps even all of the programming over the past couple of weeks, and that you're taking part in today's program as well. You're doing exactly the right thing to try and do this research and to meet with people at the school online if you can't come in person, or online and in person if you can do both. And it's a tribute to the seriousness of the decision that you're making and your thoughtfulness and how you're approaching this. Well, I had a chance to say a little bit a moment ago about how excited I was to be at Emory. And I'm happy to tell you a little bit about Emory in these opening remarks, but then really to open things up to Anthony's questions. We'll see how tough those questions are, Anthony, and you know, if you're gonna really make me sweat and struggle in my answers here in order to ensure that our students get the best information. But I think, as many of you know, Emory Law is over 100 years old, and it's just had this tremendous history in that time of being a national leader in legal education. Typically, if you look just at reputations of the law school among lawyers and judges and among academics, we're in that top 20 group of schools based on reputation alone, because we've had this long track record of excellence in service, and of having graduates who end up being, first of all, students who are drawn from across the country, and then graduates who go serve as lawyers and leaders in society all across the country as well. They're leaders in practice, in business, in government, and in public service. And Emory Law has been the launching pad for that success. And how does Emory do that? Well, it has to do with excellence in teaching and research. We just have fantastic full-time faculty members who are bringing expertise in a broad range of issues related to areas that you'd want to know about for future employment in all the settings that I just referred to. And also who bring expertise in all of the challenges and needs that our society faces. That's another important role for lawyers, is actually helping our society address the challenges we face, and whether or not it's in building our economy, or addressing injustice, or ensuring access for all. These are all critically important issues where we have faculty expertise as well. So we combine that strength of our full-time faculty with the strength offered by over 150 adjunct faculty members who are drawn from practice. They're leaders in practice in different fields, and they come back and participate in our curriculum, offering advanced classes in areas of specialized practice, and offering immediate insights in sort of practice-related classes related to trial advocacy, or something called transactional skills, and other areas. And so we just have tremendous faculty strength, which can be part of that launching pad for your exploration of the law, your identification of the areas of law that you'd like to focus on, and help provide the fuel for your ambitions, as I said, and your future success. And that expertise is spread across the curriculum, but I think it's important to note that it's not just substantive expertise. It also relates to the two particular types of work that lawyers generally do. There's litigation and advocacy, which people associate with representing clients in court or representing clients in mediation or arbitration or other sorts of active advocacy roles. And that's the type of law that people may be familiar with who've been watching sort of TV shows and movies and things like that. And then there's transactional law, which is helping to develop agreements and helping create legal structures and helping make arrangements that doesn't necessarily require appearing in courtrooms or other types of advocacy settings, but involves working with your client, working with other lawyers and their clients, and achieving some arrangement, a deal, for example, mergers and acquisitions, something you may have heard of, or resolving a family situation involving a family business, or helping develop policy solutions, things that don't necessarily require appearing in court. And Emory Law has great strength in both areas. On the litigation advocacy side, all of our graduates participate in a litigation-focused trial program as a part of their education here at Emory Law. So everybody who leaves the school will have certain foundational strengths that even people who don't end up going into litigation have often told me they find very helpful in their work as lawyers. And we also offer great strength in these transactional areas, the learning to work on behalf of clients and achieve agreements in a wide range of settings, and particularly, of course, in business transactional areas connected with business, but more broadly, just that skill set that's required to help create positive value in our society. And so it's the substantive areas of expertise, it's the litigation focused programs, the transactional law type programs that we offer that really create this broad foundation for your future success. We also have significant advantages based on our location. Emory, of course, is in Atlanta, and people may be aware that Atlanta is a key economic city measured, nationwide, and has is the home base for multiple corporations, for leading law firms, for organizations that are devoted to helping a wide range of issues our society faces, and civil rights and social justice. And we offer access to externships for students to be able to get practical experience while they're in law school, access to different types of career experiences, and of course, a nationwide access to leading organizations, whether or not they're in the law firm setting, business setting, or nonprofit setting, from this strong base. As part of this access to experience and externships here, of course, we also have our own clinics working on behalf of children, environmental law, and also in international humanitarian law, which some of you may be aware is the law of war. So unfortunately, very relevant to all of us in these challenging times. So I've talked a little bit about the school from the standpoint of academics and what you have access to here in terms of faculty and types of the educational experience. And before I stop talking and let Anthony ask his tough questions, I just want to mention as well what the community is like overall. I've had the opportunity to work with fantastic staff over the last 2.5 years who are really dedicated to student success and careers and academic advising and support, working with student life and student organizations, just incredible staff who really are committed to working with each and every one of you to help ensure that Emory Law is not just what you learn in the classroom, but it's about the relationships and support and connections that you make that allow you to take that knowledge, first of all, truly enjoy your law school experience, have a full breadth of experience within law school, but then build the network and connections to assist you in becoming a part of the 13,000 strong Emory Law alumni community moving forward. So I think you've had a chance to hear from many of these staff, and I just wanted to echo what you probably sensed, which is just their real dedication to supporting your success. And beyond our faculty and staff, of course, there's the student body that you'll be joining. And I'm just tremendously impressed with the students who've been drawn to Emory and their leadership, their collegiality. This is a community that offers substantial support for between students, and special events. This evening, I'm being a part of a spaghetti dinner that our 3L students have with our faculty, where I think as faculty we're going to be serving the 3L students dinner this evening. And it's just an example of the types of community-based events that have been important to Emory over many years. And we know that for many of you, the past couple of years have not been normal. You've not had the opportunity to build those connections with each other and with other faculty and staff or coworkers, wherever environment you may be in. And we are certainly committed to helping everyone have access to as many of those experiences as possible in the years ahead. We understand how important that is. So Anthony, I hope that hits some key areas of interest, and I'm waiting, as everyone is, to see what tough question you might ask.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm really glad you ended on that piece just about the community, because it is such a vital piece of everything that Emory does and Emory is. And as we've been talking about through the week, as you all have seen with our conversations with professors and staff, law school has its challenges. It's a stressful time. It's a time where you're learning something brand new, even if you've considered yourself an expert in a different field or through your academic history. And so having that support network through your classmates, through your faculty, through the staff here at the school is really, really important. And I think actually leads me very well into one of the questions that I did want to ask and start out with. So as we talked, it's a really unique place, a special place. So you've been here now for almost 3 years, and from your time here and what you've seen, I know you've seen some other schools as well. What is it about the Emory community for you that has made it so special, and a place that's continued to see growth in that and support students?
That's a great question. I want to answer it carefully in a way that's generalizable to others. I think when I flash on my experience at Emory, it's actually about the people who drew me here, the brilliant faculty members. I had opportunity to meet with faculty members early on, just meeting individually with each one and having a chance to talk about their research and how they were assuming sort of leadership roles in their fields of research, whether or not it's corporate law, tax, or family law, or health law. That was very exciting, but then also really exciting to hear how faculty members were translating that into their work with students, what they were doing in the classroom to make sure that students had access to the basic information that they need for future success, but also these cutting edge issues, the things that are forward looking and thinking about how the law may change or may need to change moving forward in order to help our society move forward. And I was really struck by that. It's one thing to sort of read people's bios and I don't know how many people do this, but if you go to the faculty webpage and you read about each faculty member's background and experience, it seems very impressive, but you don't know what it would actually mean for you as a student. But it was clear to me as I was meeting with those faculty members how much that was connected for faculty, that it's not just being the experts, but how they work with students and how they bring that expertise to the classroom and how they help support students in their future success. And so that was one of many exciting things. I've talked a little bit about what it's been like to work with staff in different areas, work very intensively with our career staff, for example, helping them carry out their work. A lot of that work is direct advising with students and direct work with employers, but the work that's involved in, for example, bringing our alumni network to bear and to help students get access to different markets all across the country or particular fields of practice, trying to leverage that alumni support is, I think, been an exciting aspect of working here. So I just offer those two examples. There are many others, but I know you probably have other questions, and I don't want to wax on too long.
Yep. No, I think it's really important. It's an important piece of law school too, having that connection with the professors and who can make those connections to you, to their colleagues in the profession, their colleagues at other universities and other academic adventures as well. to really give you the opportunity. So that's always very important. So we do have one, maybe two more questions, but we do want to get to your questions. So please don't be shy. If you do have questions, send them through the chat, send them through the Q&A, and we'll get to those in just a few minutes. So please send them all in. We'll be able to get you up here next. So don't be shy.
Yeah, I gather you're talking with our prospective students today. I was thinking maybe you were saying I got to ask you questions. I was going to turn
Again,
table,
we can always flip the
ask
script.
you the tough ones. But
Um, Excellent. So the other piece that I wanted to touch on as well that I think is also really important. I've been through this myself at other universities and now here at Emory Law, in terms of looking at our strategic plan and our strategic vision and reimagining what that can be for the school. And it seems like a very dry subject on paper, but it really can be invigorating for a school, for staff, for faculty to reorient ourselves and put that into motion. And I know here at the school, yourself and our students and faculty and alumni had input onto what those areas look like. So as we move forward and begin implementing that plan, I was hoping you can maybe walk us through kind of your highlights of that vision and of that strategic plan moving forward for the next few years, and how you see that playing out, especially for the group of students we have here who will be with us for the next 3 years. What can they expect to see in terms of that vision and mission?
yeah, well, thanks for asking. Deans do get involved in things like strategic planning, and it's not always something that people want to talk about because they think of a strategic plan as maybe something that involves a lot of meetings and writing a report and you put it on the shelf and that's it. But actually, whatever one thinks about that process, the planning process here was fantastic, open and collaborative, included students in it, as Anthony mentioned, included staff, included alumni. And it was really a plan that we developed because we knew how important this law school is. It's been a leading law school in the country over many years. And we knew that we had this huge opportunity to build on that success and create an even stronger environment, for example, for students moving forward. And so it was our whole community coming together and thinking about, well, what are the sort of strategic advantages we have where we can contribute to helping our society in different areas moving forward? What are the advantages that we have in terms of supporting students to achieve great success in their future lives and careers and things like that? So it was very exciting. We did it right early on in the pandemic. We got together and started thinking about this. And I think that was a significant moment because once you do, as we did and as many other schools did, move our entire law school online in a couple-week period, you know that you can do anything and you can dream big and be thinking big about the future, because once you've managed a dramatic change like we all managed, we were able to see that more clearly. So I'll just say briefly, there are a couple different areas of the plan. One just has to do with understanding where we have great historic strength that we want to maintain and new areas of growth and development. So we've always had this strong core experience in litigation, for example, that I mentioned earlier. And we were an early leader in this thing called transactional education, where we help support students who are interested not in litigation, but in these sort of problem solving, agreement oriented, creating value for society type of law. And so we wanted to build on that great success, continue to strengthen those programs and have linkages, even stronger linkages with the advantages of being right across the street from the business school, of being in Atlanta, where there's a Federal Reserve and regulatory agencies connected with business, and then reaching out and having strengthening our connections with our graduates in New York and California and DC, Florida, and other places that are really involved in that transactional work. So that was a part of kind of thinking about our strengths as a school and maintaining them, and growing new areas of strength in health law, for example, which is about 19% of our economy is devoted to healthcare issues. And it's a very important economic matter, as well as being a life and death matter, as we've all seen over the past couple of years in areas like public health and the like. And Emory's had this tremendous strength in healthcare, national and global reputation, CDC, Centers for Disease Control, located right adjacent to our School of Public Health here, and just a real sort of opportunity to create more opportunities for students who are interested in that field. And then, of course, our location is also in one of the birthplaces of the civil rights movement. We were able to recruit a new John Lewis chair in civil rights and social justice, and just received largest donation ever to support the creation of a Center for Civil Rights and Social Justice here. So there's new opportunities in those areas as well. So substantively, kind of thinking about building on the strengths and being responsive to what students might need moving forward and what our society might need moving forward. That was one key aspect of the plan that we're talking about implementing. It's already well underway, for example, with that new center, which was just an idea in the plan, actually now having funding, and have a meeting later today, actually, about organizing and thinking about our first initiatives within that center. So there's already a lot happening in all of those areas, and a lot of growth. Second key area for the plan that I'll mention, and I know we want to be able to get to student comments and questions, is just that it was a plan that really refocused the law school on students and the student experience. And it's a very student-centered plan, and everything from offering different types of concentrations and things like that within our academic program for students, offering access to greater externships and experiential learning and things like that sort of within the curriculum, but also about student support, about everything from bar support, which people just beginning of law school don't necessarily think about, but if you go to practice, you leave law school and take a bar exam in some state, and sort of what we're doing to make sure that students have the greatest positive launch into that bar exam experience, and then obviously in careers, which is just vital, and just seeing tremendous success already. Again, we've been working on this for the last couple of years, and just have seen tremendous success that you may have heard about from our career services people in terms of helping our students get access to jobs nationwide in a wide range of fields and practice settings. So things like that were really a core part of the plan as well. So I'll just focus on those two areas. The plan has lots of other things. It's available online. There's even I think a little video about it. So I commend all those things to people, but I just want to mention a couple parts that may be most relevant to people participating today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for all of that. Super helpful. And yeah, I would encourage all of you to read the strategic plan as well. I know it can be boring, but I think it does provide a lot of valuable insight into no, it's the most exciting thing you're going to read in the next year. No, but it does provide does provide a lot of valuable insight into what the school values, what your experience will be like as well. So we'll start moving on to your questions now. There's we've got time for at least a few, so we'll start moving through those. As we're going through these questions, please continue to send them in. We'll cycle through and get to as many as we possibly can, but we do want to hear from you and have your questions answered as well. So we're gonna go to Fred for our first question. Fred, you were the first one to get a question in here, so we'll pull you up. But Fred, good to see you. I know you've been to a few of these, so always good to have you participate. Do you want to introduce yourself real quick for the dean and go ahead and ask your question?
Hi, my name is Fred Halcomb. It's a pleasure to meet you. My first part of my question was kind of already answered. I typed it in right before you started talking about the school's strength in transactional law and litigation and health law. That was going to be my opening question. But my second question still remains. I was wondering if you feel like the school has any particular strengths in elder law or law pertaining to seniors. I'm sure there is some things on wills and trusts, but anything from there that pops up to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Great question. And just on the first part of your question, I think what I'd say about Emory, in addition to what I talked about in terms of those fields of expertise, is that we're very fortunate to be a large enough school to be able to actually offer strength in multiple fields. And so for a student starting out, you may have an area where you think it's your focus, and you want to feel like, well, if that remains your focus, you can be at a school that will support your future success in that area. But I think it's also very important to think about law school as an opportunity to be open and to explore different fields, and to feel like, well, if you change your mind and discover that you're interested in something else, you're at a school that can support that future success as well. And I think, that's one great thing about Emory, is it does have strength in these sort of core areas where you want to have litigation and transactional strength, and we have both, and substantive areas, ranging from business law and all the fields of practice related to that, corporate law, securities law, and wide range of fields, real estate and other things, all the way to civil rights and social justice types of fields and endeavors. So in any event, that I think you were saying you felt your first question was answered, but I just wanted to make a few more comments about that. On the elder law side, you're absolutely right. There's a range of things that the law school is involved with that are natural fit for people who want to go into elder law, ranging from the wills and trust class that you referred to family law matters, to things having to do with health law and disabilities and access to healthcare, to I think some of the interesting issues around disabilities and the law. With elder laws, its own distinct field, but there's an overlap there as well. So particular faculty members, for example, Ani Satz, who you may have seen, has interests that extend and are relevant to people in elder law. The something called the Veterans Clinic, which looks at access to different types of benefit programs, gives students practical experience navigating sort of administrative rules and procedures that can be transported over and relevant in the context of elder law. And there's a very important project called the Vulnerability and Human Condition Initiative, which may not be apparent as much on the website when you're looking at classes and things like that. There's a professor here named Martha Feynman, who holds a Woodruff Professorship, which is one of the sort of top professorship you can have at Emory. It's a university-wide designation for excellence. And Martha has been pivotal in the creation of couple of different theories of law and approaches to law, and vulnerability in the human condition is directly relevant to elder law considerations, and talks about what duties our society owes to people through their entire lifespan, and including people who are growing older. And so she's just a worldwide famous expert, having developed this theoretical approach. And somebody who I would commend to you to kind of look into the work that she's doing and the opportunities for students to attend workshops and events, and to be a part of that program as well.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, great.
Excellent. Thanks, Fred. Always good to see you. So we've got one more question in the queue. Please don't be shy. We've got time for at least probably one or two more questions to come through. So send those through. It's a great opportunity. But next up, we're going to bring up Diamond. I think Diamond has an important question about diversity and inclusion. So something we definitely value here at Emory. So Diamond, good to see you, and go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, I'm not sure if you said anything else to me. I had to step away from my computer for a moment, but I just wanted to know what you guys are doing to address diversity and inclusion, because I've just been trying to ask around and just kind of see how things are, and that did come up in the conversation. It's like Emory is great, it's a school of prestige, but you might not fit in well, and so like I just kind of wanted to see like what you guys are doing to kind of address that.
Yeah, thanks very much, Diamond. That's a critically important challenge for Emory, and actually for all of higher education. I'll say a couple of things, and you may have a follow-up question as well, or want to make sure we save room for that. But just on diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's a top priority for me, top priority for the law school and the university as a whole. It's one of the reasons I think I was recruited here, and one of the reasons why I came here. And for every law school, these issues are important, I hope, and front and center, particularly though for Emory, being in Atlanta is one of the birthplaces of the civil rights movement, and the responsibility and the opportunity we have to be leaders in creating diversity, equity, and inclusion, which really means recruiting top students and making sure that they have access to our school and that they feel supported, that this is an educational environment that everyone can succeed in. And, you know, because diversity, equity, and inclusion, sometimes they just become a phrase, but I want to translate that and make sure that in this context, we're talking about exactly what we mean for our law school. So in terms of the environment here, we're very diverse, as you may have already heard. We just admitted one of our most academically highly accomplished and diverse classes that has ever been admitted to the law school, where about 40% of our class is diverse. And I think I'm waiting for Anthony. Oh, good. Natalie's nodding, making sure I got that stat right and I'm not overstating it. Just a tremendously diverse classroom environment. For our faculty, also diverse. I think if you see, we've got diversity of perspective and backgrounds and life experience within our faculty. And we're about to announce some new faculty hires that will continue that trend, and it's a top priority within the law school and university to ensure that our faculty is offering a diversity of viewpoints, perspectives, and life experiences, and that that translates for students in the classroom. But it's beyond who we bring to the community. It's also the work that we do within it, whether or not it's in the orientation sessions that law students have access to, that talk about creation of an inclusive environment and one that respects difference, and one where people learn not just about diversity, equity, and inclusion, but how to be allies and support each other in their educational experience, and the work that we're doing as a faculty. So our faculty voted this past year to include mandatory DEI training every year annually as part of the work that we do together to ensure that our faculty understand the diversity of perspectives and life experiences in their classroom, and that they're thinking in very specific ways about how to address topics in the classroom that can create challenges for students, difficult topics, potentially painful topics in our classrooms. And then how as well to not just to think about teaching those topics in a way that promotes access for students and success in the classroom, but also how to handle the other types of challenges that can arise in classrooms, not from things that you thought you were teaching, but for example, how to handle if there's a major event in our society that has a differential impact on different groups in our society. Is that something we talk about in the classroom in order to acknowledge, this is something that actually has a legal dimension. We're here studying law. Let's actually get a chance to talk in the classroom about how our society is addressing this challenge, or do we not address it because we want to create a safe space in the classroom where students don't have to necessarily confront the issues happening in our society in a classroom when they maybe want to just be able to focus on whatever the topic is at hand. So helping faculty members navigate what we're intending to teach in the classroom, how to weave in and think about weaving in events in our society, and how to handle stresses and strains, and the issue of microaggressions, things that we all want to be aware of and have some capacity to address. So again, I just talked about it in terms of who is here, diversity of the student body, faculty members, and faculty member commitment to consider how to create an inclusive classroom environment, and actually to have that be a part of the annual work that we're doing together as a faculty. So hopefully that's responsive, and you may have some additional questions beyond that.
Thank you so much. That answered my question.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Diamond. Appreciate the question and coming in. We have one more question come in from Katrisa, so we're gonna get her up to ask her question real quick, and then I think we'll start wrapping up after this. But Katrisa, good to see you. If you want to introduce yourself real quick and go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, thank you. I really appreciate you all holding this call this afternoon. My name is Katrisa Rollins. I kind of wanted to follow up a little bit on Diamond's question as well. I know that there's like BLSA and other opportunities to, you know, organize with other students, but could you go in a little bit more detail about how a sense of community is built between the 1L incoming class as well as, you know, the 2L and 3L students? I currently live and plan to work in Atlanta after graduation. And so I would love to go ahead and start building that network within the community. I know that you touched a little bit on it, but sense of community is really important to me, especially in the school that I choose to attend. So I would love it, just some more detail on that.
Yeah, well, I'll offer a couple of comments, and you know, we can. Anthony may want to supplement my answer, but I do think that community building is a core part of what Emory Law has been about over many years, and there are different ways that community is built. So, for example, you have a small section of students that you travel around with and get to know better as you rotate through different required classes in the first year curriculum. So you've got a home base there. There's student organizations where students get to connect with upper level students, whether or not it's BALSA or the Student Bar Association government, or volunteer opportunities where you can meet with and connect with students and sometimes alumni who are members of different communities as well. For example, you mentioned BALSA, and the BALSA Alumni Advisory Group is extremely active in working with BALSA students and working with me as the dean. For example, that group worked to create a new 1L scholarship, and was really deeply concerned with students' experience and is very actively engaged. And so that's the sort of student organizational piece. We also have something called the House program in the first year, which extends membership beyond that into 2 and 3L students. And so the House program divides up the first year class into houses. For people who like Harry Potter things, I would say it's like Harry Potter, except for there's no Slytherin group. And for people who don't like Harry Potter, I'd say, well, it doesn't involve owls and spells and stuff, so it's completely different. But the basic idea is there are houses named after neighborhoods in Atlanta, and it creates another small group situation where students can connect with each other and do programming through the year. And there are events that then bring in 2 and 3L students who were also part of the same house. So one of the events that the House program has is some type of a typically a meal with the dean, either a dinner or a reception where you have a chance to meet with a first year class in small group settings, and the 2 and 3L members of that house are invited as well. So that would be an example of a specific type of community building structure that we have in place. So Anthony and Natalie and Jacob, you may want to add in things that I'm forgetting, because there's so many different ways of building community. I just tried to touch on some specific examples.
Yeah, I think you highlighted the important ones, and I would really emphasize the house program. It is a very unique program within the law school world. Most schools you're looking at are going to simply place you in a section. That's who you take your classes with, and you sort of move on from there. The house program really does have that community and built-in focus on the extracurricular as well to get you to meet folks. On a typical year, we're going to have about 60% of our class coming from outside Georgia, outside Atlanta, many of whom have not spent significant time here, don't have networks and circles here. And so it's a really, really great opportunity to get connected with folks. Each house also has a Facebook page where even classes before that were in your same house are on there and active. So it's also a great opportunity to network with some alumni and some upperclassmen. And as the dean mentioned, you also have a 2L and a 3L as your sort of mentors within the program. The only other thing I would add is most of the student organizations as well have a mentoring component built into their organization. And so as you join, your upperclassmen and will take you under their wing. They will talk with you about their experiences, about the work that they've done, how's the best way to navigate the classroom, how's the best way to put yourself up for internships and clinics, and all of that sort of thing as well. So you'll get connected really quickly. And then as you start, branching out for the summers and participating in internships, externships, clinics, you'll meet other professionals, alumni in the Atlanta area as well, who will also serve in that mentor capacity. So you'll have a ton of different avenues and opportunities there to connect as well. But I think the dean covered the really important pieces here at the law school with the student orgs and the houses program. It's really important to get involved. And they all have very low barrier to entry too. Most of the student organizations, all you got to do is show up for their meeting and you're in. It's not like any application process or any exclusive kind of deal. And if you show up and it's not what you thought it was, there's no necessarily obligation, but most of them are really good about holding that to it. So hope that answers your question, Katrisa.
Yes, it did. Thank you so much. And I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so I was curious about the houses program. So thanks for
Oh,
going.
good. Well, then it's just like Harry Potter.
Good, excellent. Well, thanks. Good to hear from you. So, so we're going to start wrapping up. I know we've got just a few minutes left here, but I wanted to ask the dean one final question here. It's a question we've been asking to all of our faculty as we end our sessions and going through. But we're always curious, and Dean, put you on the spot a little bit, but we're always curious to figure out, what attracted you to Emory, what brought you here, and for the almost 3 years you've been here now, what's keeping you here? What's keeping you in Atlanta? What's keeping you at Emory?
Well, see, it's unfortunately I sort of said why, and so I'm trying to come up with something that's consistent and yet presents new information. It really was the people, I have to say, and I talked about what it was like to, become a part of a school that's just been a leader in legal education across the country for years. It was a school that I followed. I knew about, from the time that I was in law school up in the Northeast to when I was a faculty member in Texas to when I was dean at another law school. Elsewhere, Emory's just been a leader, and it's been there and had that national reach and impact over many, many years. And so it was a great honor to be, brought into conversation about becoming dean here. And then every conversation I had with the people who are actually here either met or vastly exceeded my expectations in terms of the faculty members who've been drawn here, the dedication of staff who, we've got a conference table over here where we meet regularly and just amazing the care and concern of everybody in this community of trying to support and further our students. And so it's just been a fantastic experience. We've all been through challenging times and so many challenges for our society, but it's just been this core community that's kept the focus on students throughout that I'm just so impressed with and glad to be a part of.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time and for your candor and answering all of the questions. I know the students certainly appreciate it. So we'll start to wrap up. I wanted to give Jacob and Natalie as well. I know you've been with them through a lot of these sessions as well. But Jacob, Natalie, any closing words or thoughts as we kind of wrap up our virtual series?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Sorry, Natalie. I knew we were going to do that at the same time. But I just have really enjoyed doing these virtual events over the past few weeks. I mean, the reason that I work in admissions and in higher ed and enjoy that profession is first and foremost interaction with students and getting to know people on an individual level and getting the opportunity to help them succeed and help them end up in the place that's going to put them in the best position to fill their goal or fulfill their goals. So that's my whole career aspiration in one sentence. And I've been able to do that a little bit more directly over the past few weeks. And I'm excited to do that in person, whether it's Friday or throughout the rest of the semester or the summer or in the fall, as we actually see you here at orientation, hopefully. So thanks for that opportunity and always here to help.
Yeah, I just would like to echo on what Jacob just said, as well as the dean. I'm here. I came here from across the street from Goizueta, and I am so committed to Emory Law and to Emory University because of how we treat people and because of the sense of community and because we're always trying to get better. And you'll understand a genuineness, and you'll be able to be connected to all of that. And I just want to extend an invitation. If anyone wants to do a one-on-one consultation to talk more, I'm more than happy to do so.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you both. You both are great examples of the staff and just the environment that you all kind of walk into here at Emory as well. So thank you both for helping out and working with our students this week. Dean, any final comments or closing from you before we wrap up?
No, just thanks to all of you who made this program of events available for students. I mean, this is a very important decision, and you've gotten a lot of information to people. And thank you for letting me be a part of it. So I look forward to meeting everybody. I hope people who can come on Friday, I look forward to seeing you at that event. And otherwise, look forward to seeing everybody as the new year begins.
Great. Well, thank you all. For those of you that were able to join us live, we appreciate you being here. For those of you watching the recording, we hope to see you in person and interact with you a bit more throughout the coming weeks and leading up to you joining us this fall semester. So thank you all. As always, if there's anything at all we can do, we might be saying goodbye to the virtual series, but of course we are always here. So email me directly, email Jacob or Natalie, and we are certainly welcome to answer your questions and make any connections we can here at the school. So a big thank you again to Dean Bobinski, to Natalie, to Jacob, to everybody through joining us for the week. So we hope you enjoyed it. We hope you learned a lot. And we are looking forward to seeing you all on Friday and in the near future. So hope everybody has a great rest of your day, a great week, and we will see you all soon. Welcome to Emory and congratulations again.
Thanks. Bye-bye.